Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del challenges the status quo, questions everything, and empowers you to return to your core beliefs to make your life better. If you're ready to hear the truth and get your roadmap to the lifestyle you really want, the next hour will change your life. And now, your host, self-made millionaire, national award-winning investor of the year, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, Del Walmsley.
Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. I'm your host, Del Walmsley, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. Today, I have with me a new Lifestyles Unlimited mentor. Hooray. Great. Phoenix, Arizona. We're growing all over the country, and Mark Petz is the new one we have with us now. And Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Del. I'm excited to be here. It's a great real estate town here in Phoenix.
Well, since the people in Phoenix know you, but the rest of the country doesn't, I think we need to start out with a little bit of a background explanation for your life. Tell us a little bit about younger Mark Petz and where you come from, and what were your thought processes and your belief systems up until your teens, 20s, and mid-20s?
Sure, Del. I'm currently married for about 20 years. Beautiful wife, Jody. I have two kids, Layla and Scarlett. But if I want to just kind of back up here to where I grew up, it was a small town suburb of Cleveland, Ohio, middle-class neighborhood. I was one of five kids. And, growing up, my dad was a fireman, and so he had a steady job and always had a second job as well, or a second business, just to pay all the bills. And he kept working just to keep the family moving. I really learned from him just hard work and, honest work and integrity is the way, to succeed in life. And I've always carried those principles with me. But as I grew up, I really had that mindset of, work more hours, make more money. And so I followed what, most people would do. I figured go to college, and that way I could earn more money. So I went to actually the Naval Academy and earned an engineering degree. And, really enjoyed engineering, very analytical, wanted to know how things worked. And that was just a passion of mine. And then after graduation, spent about 4.5 years in the Navy, and learned a lot in the Navy. Responsibility, just communicating the way things are, and always being honest about that. And after some time in the Navy, I realized there was more opportunity, more money to be had in the outside world. So I decided to leave and enter corporate America. So I became a sales engineer, and during that time, I wanted to learn more about business and worked on my MBA at night. And shortly thereafter, moved into management, had good success in management, won a President's Club, and just continued to work hard, focus. I found myself, though, working more and more hours, and I'd get a promotion, a little bit more money, more and more hours, get a promotion, a little bit more money. After a while, I kind of felt like I was on a treadmill. And about 2005, I started thinking about, wow, it'd be great to have my own business. And, started reading books and trying to get to that point. And realized that gap from where my salary was to trying to start a business was a pretty big jump. So I kept going in the corporate America world for, another 10 years until I discovered Lifestyles in 2015. And it really opened my eyes to how to generate some cash flow with the assets I had. I had a pretty sizable 401k, and I had some other assets. And I actually had bought a couple single-family homes. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was getting a little bit of cash flow, but really looking at those houses as a way to just grow some appreciation and then cash them out someday. I didn't really have a plan when. I thought I'd probably just pay them all off and then live off that cash flow. Just didn't really have a clear map. So as I joined Lifestyles in 2015, it really gave me that roadmap, how to manage when to sell, when to do acquisitions, how to do them, and really kind of gave me that grounding on where I am today.
hearing your story here for the first time, Mark, in detail like that, what gets me is the commonality of just how you have gone through and at each level, okay, this is important, so I'm going to go learn some skills in the military. And, when you're in the military, I'm sure that it feels like those are absolutely the most important skills in the world. Of course, they make you believe that, I'm sure. Then you move on, and then you go to college, and they say, man, you got to have a college degree. What can you do without a college degree, right? It's in there. You got to have it. So what do? You work, you excel, you get it. Then you go for a master's degree. Then you want something called the President's Club. What is the President's Club? I'm not being cynical. I don't even know what that is. What is that?
It was just being a top performing district at the company, top sales and, top profit. And, it's something where you're competing against, 80 peers and, only one or two are selected. So it really feels good, and it allows you to, get some more promotions, a little bit more money, and it kind of keeps you on the treadmill. But after a while, you realize that you're working harder and harder, and not necessarily smarter and smarter.
Well, that's where I was going with this, is that it just you hear the story, and what I'm trying to say is that if you were to hear the story, your story, and thousands like you, but your story, and you were telling it to somebody that was deep in the belief system of corporate America and education and so forth, they would applaud you. You are a grinder. You are a hard worker. You are successful. What gets me is the level of success at each level that you went through, right? And you just did more and more and got better and better at things that just weren't making you rich. And it's just interesting to see that story. So let's try to ferret out. With all of that, you've got to be focused. I mean, you can't have done all that in your life and not been focused. So we're going to give you that you're a hardworking, focused individual. Now let's cut into, and then something happened that made me go, blah. What was it that happened in your life, if anything, that said, this just isn't getting me where I want to go?
It was really just trying to reflect on the day-to-day. You're just on the treadmill, and then I would take a vacation and try and contemplate and think through where my life was going, how I was going to hit retirement. I just didn't feel like I was getting there. And then, when I did discover lifestyles back in 2015, took the 2-day, it just opened my eyes to that path, and not just that it was being presented in front of me on a chalkboard, or it was really about talking to others who have been there, talking to the network that Lifestyles provides, and seeing how these other individuals in the organization were successful, and talking to them and hearing their story. And it really kind of, reinforced that this roadmap works. And, I'm a testament to it. I heard retire in 5 years or less, and I built my model around that. And that was back in 2015. And, that's what allowed me to leave corporate America. And that roadmap just kept me on path, and then constantly tweaking it as I networked within, other folks in the group and working with some of the mentors. It just all came together.
So when you started out doing rental houses on your own, what made you tackle it on your own as opposed to go get education on it?
Well, I'll be honest. My first one, I was living in a house in Florida, and it was a hot market. I probably read 3 books. I don't know if it really helped give me guidance, but I decided to pull the trigger on it. Luckily, it appreciated quite a bit. So by the time I sold it, it worked out fine. I wasn't getting too much cash flow, so I didn't really know what I was doing. But again, I knew it was a good market, and it worked out for me, and it just gave me more and more confidence to go as I moved back to Scottsdale. I was able to pick up some more rental houses, and I learned a little bit more, but I still feel like I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew it was the right thing to do.
Well, that's good, because real estate is very forgiving, and it allows for anybody that has the interest to come look into it to make strides, even if they're not making the largest and fastest ones they can make. We're going to be right back with Mark Petz and talk about how he's moved through the multifamily investment world and become a mentor. We'll be right back. Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Welcome back. Now here's some more unconventional wisdom to set you free from the man on a mission to retire America, one person at a time, Del Walmsley.
Welcome back to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. With me here today is Mark Petz out of Phoenix, Arizona, as a new mentor for Lifestyles Unlimited. As we went to break, Mark was talking about the fact that around 2005 he started thinking about changing his life. By 2015, he found Lifestyles. So, Mark, how did you hear about us, by the way? Just out of curiosity, and where were you living at the time? Because I see that you joined up in Dallas. Were you living in Phoenix, just went there to take the class, or how'd that work out?
Well, actually, Del, I was moving for a new job and living in Dallas for about 3 years, and heard one of the radio ads. And every time I heard an ad, I started writing it down for real estate and attended one of the 2-hour seminars, which really inspired me. It was an actual investor who was successful in single family, and she taught it and signed up immediately, to move forward towards the next level and attend the 2-day class.
My favorite question, Mark, every time I get someone new on the radio is, you came out of the 2-day class, you got Saturday, you got Sunday, 2 different days, teach 2 different things. What were your aha moments? The light bulb thing, because it happens to me no matter what it is I go after. I mean, I've just recently started picking up competitive shooting, and it's the trigger. I mean, and, you can do 1,000 other things. You can learn 1,000 other things about how to shoot, and you get the wrong trigger, and you don't understand how to use the trigger, you can't hit anything, right? And so it's the light bulb went on. What was your light bulb in real estate investing?
Boy, I went into that 2-day class very energized, thinking I am going to just buy a ton of single-family houses and just build up my assets and, work towards a retirement. But I hit day 2, and I really had no knowledge of multifamily except driving by apartments and just looking at them. And day 2 of that class was just the complete aha moment on how multifamily investing worked. And, I probably have a half dozen ahas throughout that 2-day class, but it really came down to the valuations with multifamily, based on NOI versus buying a single-family house where you can influence the price, but not nearly as much as you can with multifamily, where you can move much more quickly and have a lot more levers to pull to get that appreciation.
That's great. So you like to control. Did your wife go to the class with you?
She did not attend. She was typically keeping an eye on my 2 daughters.
I got you. All right. So you came out of there, and what was the plan? You and the wife talk, get the fly on the wall. What was the plan right out of the blocks? I know what you bought. I just want to hear what you thought your plan was.
Sure. I came out of there and started attending a lot of the meetings there in Dallas, in the Dallas office, and networking with folks, but really pulled the trigger on passive investing. I knew that was the way to go. I had the enough capital to start investing, and I immediately started writing out my plan on converting some of my 401k, some of my investments, and then selling my single-family homes just to build up as much capital as I could to move forward with passive investing. And as I went to each of the case studies and road trips in the Dallas office, I met multiple leads, had a chance to talk to them, shake their hands, get to know them, and understand what their deals were. And, immediately took action and started investing passively and learned the business that way. And it really paid off for me.
Well, it sure did, man. I'm talking about 2 deals as a lead investor and also another 4,500, 4,400 units as a passive investor. So you've done a lot of real estate deals. In fact, I probably should have brought that up right up front because I don't have here a total. How many total units do you reside over now, have ownership of now?
So as a lead investor, general partner, I've got the 2 properties. So I've got 92 units there. And then from a passive standpoint, just over 4,400. And, I've done 17 passive deals, and a lot of them have sold. 5 of them have sold already, and actually there's several of them that are on track to be sold as well. And I'll just be creating that snowball effect and using those funds to get into my next deal, both more passive deals and more lead deals.
It's interesting how different people take different approaches to it. I started with single family, then I syndicated. Well, actually, I did small apartments, then I syndicated. And then I got tired of syndicating. I went back to owning as an IRO. Then I started syndicating again. Then I went back to being an IRO. And now I'm into passives. it's like going, it's going to the grocery store and going, which aisle do I want to shop on, right? It's all available to you. So you came out of there and you got into some passive deals. Let's talk about, as a mentor now, your opinion becomes important to people. As a passive, which is more important to you, the horse or the jockey? In other words, the deal or the syndicator that's putting the deal together?
So I know this is a pretty common question amongst passives, but for me, it's a 50-50. I feel like the jockey, if they have a solid background and that's applicable to managing a business, I put a lot of weight into that. And then the deal itself, certainly the numbers need to work, but in most cases, I'd say in all cases for me, with the training that Lifestyles provides, the deals are all good, at least the ones that I've jumped into. So I put 50-50 on that. And, I've done several repeat deals with leads as well, as I got to know them and really liked their style of communication and the way they, ran the business, ran the asset. I developed a great comfort level and a friendship with them.
There is a difference. There's no doubt. In fact, if you were going to split hairs the way you did, restate, really I would rather have someone that knew less about real estate and more about business than someone who knew more about, I'd rather have someone who knew more about business than real estate, put it that way, because you got to run a business now. If you're going to be a lead investor, which is what we call the syndicator here at Lifestyles, because they have to go get qualified and they have to get certified as a lead investor in our program before they can be a syndicator within our program. I think it's important that that person have business skills and acumen, because there's so many things you have to do: hire, fire, train, marketing, sales. It's not just, okay, I know what a rent house is and I know how to fix a hot water heater. Those skill sets are better used on single-family housing. So we've got a whole rest of the show. It's only half the show so far. We've got coming back up here. So we're going to talk about you being a lead. We want to talk about you being a mentor. So those are really the segments we want to pick up when we come back. If you got any calls you want to call in, our number here is 866-582-9933. I'm sure there's some of you out there in Phoenix right now that would love to call up and give Mark a hard time, since you're probably his friend and want to give him a hard time on the radio. So if you do, that number is 866-582-9933. We'll be right back with Mark Petz and the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Now here's some more unconventional wisdom to set you free from the man on a mission to retire America, one person at a time, Del Walmsley.
Welcome back to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. With me here today is Mark Petz, who's a new multifamily mentor out in Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome back to the team, Mark. I want to ask you now, you've got 2 deals that you are a lead in. Do you have any partners, or are these IRO deals?
These are both syndicated deals with partners.
Okay. Let's talk about the moment you decided to become a lead yourself instead of just being a passive. What was the stimulus for that kind of a mindset change?
So as I continued to progress buying more passive deals, I had this desire to learn more and more and understand more about the financing, more about the operations, and I knew I just wouldn't, get there being a passive. And at the time, I was relocating back to Phoenix, in the summer of 2017, and I just had the desire to, run my own deal, and so decided that I would, utilize all the resources that I had. It was a little challenging in Phoenix, coming from the infrastructure that was already there in Dallas. I actually leaned on several of those members and support groups out there to help me get started out here in Phoenix.
Were you able to use Phoenix connections, or did you have to use the national connections? Who was mentoring you through this process?
Yeah, that's a great question. Using the national resources that Lifestyle put together. So I had mentors, J.B. Durham, Kevin Chalmers, really from that standpoint, helped me with the underwriting, gave me confidence the numbers I was putting down were correct. Jackie Green, who's I knew in Dallas, was one of the Lifestyle's real estate agents who helped out just finding the property initially. And then I worked with Ricardo Hinojosa at Old Capitol, who was the Lifestyle vendor, and he really helped me understand the financing for the deal, and really just used the team that most of them resided in Dallas, but supported deals nationally, and allowed me to get moving here in Phoenix.
Okay, let's talk about what you fell in love with on the first property. What did you like? What was the right things wrong with it, as they say?
Well, actually, the property itself was in pretty decent shape, and as I toured it, I identified some areas that we could add some value, based on all the training and a lot of the road trips I went on. So from that standpoint, I put the business plan together on it, and a lot of it was just adding some upgrades in the interiors, putting in some fans, some new hardware. I put washer and dryers in a portion of the unit, and then and also some sunscreens, which really helped the property pop. And from a deferred maintenance standpoint, it did need a new roof, so I built that into the budget. So it was a lot of things that I knew from doing the road trips that would add some value and allow for those rent bumps.
Gotcha. So it says here that you bought it at $3,700,000, $3.7 million, and at the time you estimated it being worth $5.2 after your upgrades.
Yes, just looking at the NOI and the P&Ls here over the last 3-4 months, we've really increased the value. And the rents actually have gone above what I initially had on the pro forma. It's half one-bedrooms, half two-bedroom units. And just the demand in Phoenix and the amount of growth here, job growth, has been just driving the rents up. And we're taking advantage of that, opportunity.
Do you have your profit and loss numbers in front of you, or at least just a loose semblance of the rate of returns that you were putting out on this thing so far to your partners?
Sure. So we closed in 2018 in December, so right at the end. And then last year we put out 6% cash on cash overall. And this year that will increase. We hit the pause button with the quarantine with coronavirus, just to make sure that the numbers were going to hold up and get us through this recession that we're currently in. But the reality is that actually the property throughout this quarantine went up in occupancy and actually produced more operating income over the last 3-4 months. So it's I attribute that to the location and just the property management company I use, just keeping it in tip-top shape, and residents, being loyal and keeping them happy and being responsive to their needs.
So that was a 48-unit apartment complex you bought. Then you saw something close by that was, 18 more units, 17 more units? What was the next deal?
Actually, so the next deal, I was working with Marcus Millshap, and they brought a property that was still off market, that 44 units.
44,
and
I'm
it's
sorry.
Actually, yeah, sure. It's actually walking distance. And I saw that opportunity, and it was going through some major renovations, and there was a portion that weren't renovated. but the opportunity from an operational standpoint to consolidate on expenses and have shared resources for both, the maintenance side and on the leasing side, it was very appealing. And I saw the rents that they were actually charging, and I knew the submarket very well, and saw that opportunity for almost a 10% bump right away. And we've been able to achieve that here. I've had the property for about 7 months now, and we're above pro forma as far as the targeted rents are.
So you got the economics of scale advantage of having two of them close by, be able to use common staff. Are they the same quality of property? Are they both C plus? What are they?
Yeah, they're both C properties. They're both the one thing Lifestyles teaches is, best quality, best price. And we're definitely the top quality in the neighborhood, or best product in the neighborhood. All my units are renovated. I've got a few more at Canyon Greens, the second deal, to bring up to a full upgrade status. But just that having a clean property that's well maintained and upgraded has been, very beneficial, especially going through this quarantine.
Yeah, it's interesting that you're able to increase even during the tough times that we're going through now, the COVID times. I don't know what else to call them. Your occupancy hasn't suffered at all?
Not at all. It's gone up. And we're actually, our tenants feel that, we treated them well and are feeling very loyal. And we've actually been able to achieve just short-term releases at a higher price. And they were very accepting of it.
Real quick now, as we come to the end of this segment, let's talk about what upgrades you've done to get those rent bumps you're talking about.
Sure. The rent bumps for Canyon, a lot of it was some deferred maintenance, just on the pools, on the roof, and fixing some of the parking covers, redoing the parking lot, and then also just creating some more appeal on the exterior of the building itself. We actually put some hardy board up and changed the paint scheme on it, and we're in the process of adding new signage, and then also added some additional security, some lighting, and some security cameras as well. So it just brought more of a pop to the property compared to, the neighboring properties. The color's not appealing. They're just not as well maintained. The landscaping's not as sharp. And, to me, that's been the difference to get those walk-ins. And when we have those tours, the first impression for a potential resident is that they see a clean property. And, that's obviously important. And, that's been the success to get us there.
Okay. 1 minute left here, and let's talk about what your goal is for your next property, because I know you've got down here you're looking for the third one now, and they're thinking that's going to be the one that's going to get you out of it all.
Absolutely. So I actually just got my third property under contract, and my goal really was to look for a little nicer, stay in the Phoenix market, of course, because it's solid. It's got, some of the top job growth and top population growth. We're really looking for a C plus, B property and a larger property as well to start scaling up. And then again, look for that opportunity to increase the value so that, the rent and the NOI can be achieved.
All right, great. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with Mark Petz and the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Welcome back. Now here's some more unconventional wisdom to set you free from the man on a mission to retire America, one person at a time, Del Walmsley.
Welcome back to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. With me here today on Tell Del is Mark Petz, is a new Phoenix multifamily mentor. And Mark, as we come into this last segment, I'd like to talk to you about a couple of things that are more touchy-feely. First of all, let's get with what are your goals and plans for your future?
So as far as my immediate goal, I hit that. So I'm, retired from corporate America, So I'm very excited about that and very excited about, focusing full-time on real estate. So my goals moving forward here are really to continue helping and mentoring investors starting out within lifestyles and get them to where I'm at. And, I'm willing to, if they're willing to put in the effort, I'm willing to help them. And then as far as, goals beyond that, just continue to acquire new properties and as a lead and continuing to, build and, develop my real estate portfolio and increase net worth and increase cash flow and ultimately, be able to create that inheritance for my family and leave them in a position that, they'll be able to, be successful for their entire life, for my children.
Well, that's good. We want to, let me restate this. Have you been and are you aware of how much we've accomplished in Phoenix so far? Well enough that you can share with the audience and where we're at in Phoenix, because Phoenix has been growing rapidly for us the last 2 years. Can you share with everybody what you've seen happen there and where it's at now compared to 2 years ago?
Absolutely. I can even share back from 2015 when I was in Dallas. I came out and there were probably 2 or 3 members. Peter Neerman, I remember, Steve Eichler, and then the office opened here just over a year ago. And initially we had meetups prior to the office opening. We'd have 5, 10 folks, and I believe just before the office closed, those meetings, I was actually doing a case study in February, and we had close to 70, 80 people there. It just took off like a rocket, and I would expect that, to continue. I saw the same thing when I was in the Dallas office starting there, and I saw how quickly that snowballed and grew as well.
Now, you're going to be mentoring not only the Phoenix people, but I think you're going to be doing some national mentoring, aren't you?
Yeah, so the goal really is as we continue to build up Phoenix members to help out, especially with the West Coast members nationally, and get some of them started. And the interesting part is myself and I know other leads where the culture of lifestyles is everyone's already been doing that. I'm just doing it in a more formal role.
Yeah, that's one of the most commonly felt things people have when they come in is they're like, wow, I can't believe how open everybody is. And, that's not by chance. That was created from the very beginning, and I think that's why most of the other types of training programs out there, everybody has this, linear perspective of life, the zero-sum gain. That's what it's called, where, for me to have $1, you have to lose $1. So if I tell you my secret, I lost a secret, and you're going to go make some money with it, and I won't be able to make money with it. Whereas we don't believe that. We believe in the abundance mentality. And really, as a mentor, let me share this with you, Mark, because this is really what I found. When I first started helping everybody, people are going, Del, you're crazy. Why are you giving away so many deals? I mean, if you know about the deals and you're helping people buy the deals and everything, why don't you just buy all the deals? And I said, what you don't understand is that I'm giving away all the single-family houses, and now I'm giving away all the 10 and 20 units because I'm buying 40 and 60, and now I'm giving away all the 40, 50, 60, and 80 because I'm buying 100 and 200. So what you don't understand is that while I go out there at all these brokers and help all these different people get into all these deals, the brokers don't remember the people, they remember me. And then when the next great deal comes up that is too big for anybody that I'm bringing to them, they're going to drop that in my lap. So in other words, if you help enough other people in this world get what they need, you can have whatever you want. But people go, I don't believe that. Why? Well, because I helped somebody once. So don't get tricked into the I helped somebody once mode, and just keep working and working and working, helping people. Any idea when you guys are going to try to open the offices there? Have they given you any indication on that yet?
Yeah, it looks like the target date end of August to the first case study back live. So it's just around the corner here.
How is Phoenix, the city, doing? Are they allowed? Have they opened stuff up yet? They have that 1, 2, 3 phase thing, or how are they working through that?
Yeah, Phoenix opened up fairly early. Same thing with the 1, 2, 3 phase, and a lot of manufacturing never closed down. Most of them were deemed essential. And as far as shops, retail, it's all back open, all the barber shops. And, people are out and about. As I drive around the city, It's not back to, pre-level as far as traffic, but I would say it's probably between 50 to 70%. So it's rapidly coming back.
Okay. You got 30 seconds left, and that is, you started thinking about it in 2005. You joined in 2015. What do you have to say to the people that are sitting there on the couch right now listening and not doing anything?
I would say that Lifestyles has been a life changer for me, and the people in Lifestyles, I will have many lifelong friends, and between the mentors and the members and the whole team, it helps support you on your path, and you just set your goals, and everyone around you on your team will help you get there, and you can't go wrong.
Well, I want to personally thank you, Mark, from me to you, for becoming a mentor. The whole secret to Lifestyles is, this is why it's so difficult to replicate. You got to find somebody willing to give back, to give their information away to other people, to help other people, to care about other people, and have the abundance mentality. And that's not something that's easily found out there in this world. Find a person with the heart of a teacher that's willing to get out there and help. So thank you very much. And the rest of you out there, let's get out there and let's get going, man. Let's not wait from 2005 to 2015. Let's not wait 10 years. Let's do it now. Because why? Not for the money, but for the lifestyle. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.
The information and opinions you hear on the Del Walmsley Radio Show are those of the host, Del Walmsley, his guests, and his callers, and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of this station, its affiliates, its management, or advertisers. The Del Walmsley Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Del Walmsley Show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.